Hi everyone, before I start the video up and we take this particular MidTen red dot to the range, there were a couple of things I forgot to talk about in my unboxing video, so I wanted to cram that in here real quick. Now this looked a lot to me like a Bushnell sight that I own, and then from my research I found out it actually is supposed to be based off the Bushnell Trophy TRS-25, which makes a lot of sense because they do look very similar. The difference is that this one has a wake-up function. So unlike the Bushnell, this one, if you turn it on and leave it without movement for a period of time, I think it's a few minutes, then it will turn itself off and will not come back on until it's shaken awake, until you move it a little bit. So let me move this box out of the way a little bit. And we're going to try that here in a second. Now, because of this function, it's supposed to extend the battery life up to 2,000 hours. So that way you can leave the dot on and not have to be turning it off as you're using it. Just the moment you put it down and aren't using it for a bit, it will turn itself on. And then as you start moving your firearm or the sight around a little bit, it'll turn back on. Now, also this comes with the riser. And I think I had addressed this, but just in case I didn't, you can mount this two ways. This has a Picatinny rail mount on it already, so you can mount this directly and have a very low profile sight, or you can use the riser, and according to the information on this sight, that's supposed to make it a lower third co-witness. So you should be able to see your backup sights that you have on the firearm on the lower third of this sight as you're looking through it. So let's first take a look at the brightness here. Now, I have it a little dimmer in here. I had to obviously turn on some lights for filming. But let's see here if I can show through the lens. Now, what did I just turn it on? Yes, so that's the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you able to see it there? 7. You can see it better through the camera. Obviously, I can see it with the naked eye even on 1, but I'm not sure the camera's picking that up, but I'm sure it's picking this up now. We're at 8, 9, 10, ooh, that's bright, and then 11, the highest brightness setting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it on 11 for a second. Let's see if I can put this down somehow to where, yeah, I think we can do that. Ooh, I said that and then I drop it. Okay, there we go. I actually got it propped up perfectly. So I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to let my camera keep filming, and we'll see here in a second how long it takes to turn off. And now it's off, and that took just under 4 minutes. Obviously, I was talking for a bit after I stopped moving it. So yeah, it works well. And let's see here, the moment oh yeah, it turned back on immediately the moment I started moving it. Didn't even take much movement to turn back on. So that's one of the great things about this particular light. And that seems to be something that CV Life and MidTen, some of these companies are adding to all their red dots nowadays, is basically this motion awake ability, which is great because unless you're always carrying extra batteries on you, it's good to be able to save the time on your battery as much as possible. And let's see here. If you see here, you can kind of see that front lens is glowing a little bit. It's got a kind of a red dye to it because it's a multi-coated lens. It's supposed to prevent distortion and give you a crisp red dot. Unfortunately, I wear glasses, so the glasses sometimes cause the dot for my eyes to be a little bit starry. You know, I kind of give it a little starburst, but that's just because of the glasses. When I take my glasses off, they are crisp, but then I can't see the target off in the distance. So I have to put my glasses back on. But anyway, a great little sight. It looks very promising. So let's go ahead and jump to the video where I mount it and take it shooting and give it a test. Hey everybody, Tex-Mex here. Thanks for joining me for another video. Today we are here to test the MidTen Motion Awake Red Dot. I did an unboxing video, a short unboxing video on this not too long ago, and now I wanted to test it on a firearm. So I have it mounted here on a Smith & Wesson 1522, the M&P 1522. Now, this is a rifle I like a lot. It's a lot of fun. It's a 22 and an AR-15 configuration. I've used it to test different sights. I like it because it has a large rail system on it, so I can mount as much stuff on it as I like. I've got some Magpul backup sights on it right now, and I went ahead and mounted the MidTen Red Dot with its riser on it to see how well it works with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sight it in on camera. I'm using some standard velocity CCI, and boy, I found an old box. Look, this is a really old box, standard velocity CCI. Now the sun is bright. It's late morning, but it's still morning, and the sun is behind me at an angle, so we'll get to see how well this red dot works in a bright environment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first take a few shots on a larger target just to make sure that I can see where I'm hitting, and then once I narrow it down, I'll take 3 to 5 shot groups on some various targets until I have it zeroed in. Now I am zeroing in at 25 yards. I have the target set up over here. Give me 1 second and I'll show you right here. Scooch down that way, that down there. It's 25 yards, and I've got some targets set up and my target camera. So let me go ahead and get the first rounds loaded into the magazines. I've actually already loaded some rounds into a couple of magazines, so it wouldn't take me too long to get this done. But let me get my camera down there turned on, and we'll take the first shots and try to start sighting it in. So here we are, ready to take our first shots. Let me go ahead and take off my hat so I can put my ears on. And I'm gonna try to steady using this bag. Let me set this. Let me look at the dot. Like I said, it's pretty bright out here. I can see the dot. Let's see here. I got it at 5. You can see a little better at 6, 7. Yeah, 7's about all I need. I can make it brighter, but the brighter you make dots on red dot sights, in my experience, they start to, to get sort of that starburst effect, and I don't want that. I want it to be as clear as possible, so I make sure that I'm shooting as precise as possible. And that should work well. Yeah, it's looking good, even in this bright sun. So I got my first round loaded in. Let me take 3 shots. Okay, that's 3 shots. Most likely on the target camera, you can see where I'm hitting. I cannot see from here. So let me put this on safe. I'm gonna run down there real quick and see where I'm hitting. So it looks like I'm hitting low and to the left. So let me adjust this scope, or this red dot. So you've got the adjustment knobs here. And the little tool that came with it has a screwdriver to help you with these adjustment knobs, but also the caps have a little screw head on there, so you can just use them to adjust, which is nice. That way you don't need to have a tool with you. Now let me see here. So I'm gonna have to look at the instructions, because it doesn't look like on the face of the adjustment knob it has any sort of indicator as to which direction moves it where. So yeah, that's a little disappointing. It's usually nice to have, an arrow with a U or an R or something on there showing if you turn it this way, it does this, you turn it that way, it does that, but that's not on here. So I will have to check the instructions. So give me 1 second to do that. So I have pulled out the instructions, and let's see here. Elevation adjustment. Up refers to the point of impact, not the actual, okay, yeah. The elevation adjustment is located on the top. Well, I kind of always, that's typical on almost any optic. Top one is for elevation, side one is for windage, but it lets you know that just in case you didn't. Let's see here. To raise the red dot, turn the adjustment clockwise using the cap or screwdriver. Each click is equal to 1 MOA. Okay, well, that's quite a bit. So each click would be an inch, around an inch at 100 yards. So I'm gonna have to go clockwise because I need it to go up. As far as windage, R refers to the point of impact. Yes. Windage, to shift windage. Clockwise will make it go right. Is that correct here? Yes, correct. Okay, so I need it to go right and up. So both will be clockwise adjustments here. Since I'm only shooting at 25 yards, I don't think I need too much of adjustment. I'm gonna do 3. I'm gonna do 5 clicks clockwise up and to the right. That may be too much, but let's try that and see how it works. Once again, let's get ready to shoot. Take 3 more shots. See where we're hitting now. Okay, fortunately cannot see with my naked eye, so let me go check the target. Okay, so I drifted them in the opposite direction. No, I'm pretty good at reading and following instructions. I wouldn't say it's my strongest point, but let me look at this again. Elevation adjustment, yeah. To raise the red dot, turn the adjustment clockwise using the cap. Okay. Clockwise, counterclockwise. Yeah, I thought I did. So maybe I turned them counterclockwise by mistake? Well, let me do this again. No, I didn't. That was clockwise. Well, unless the instructions are wrong. Same thing here, to make it, to shift the red dot to the right. Okay, you know what? I think maybe I'm reading this wrong. Truth be told, and there's probably more information that you need to know about me, but I am dyslexic. It doesn't usually mean I understand instructions backwards, but you know what? I'm gonna turn this counterclockwise. Okay, I think I did 5, so I'm gonna do 5 more. Same thing on elevation. So let's see where we're hitting now. Oh boy. Okay, from where the dust is flying behind my target, I think now I am hitting in the right area. So let me go take a look. Okay, so that worked. So apparently I must have misunderstood the instructions. If you want to drift up your point of impact, you got to go counterclockwise on the top adjustment. And if you want to drift right, you have to go counterclockwise on the side adjustment. So we're not quite there. So I'm going to drift, I think 3 more clicks. Well, if I get this inserted correctly, there you go. I do like the fact that the caps come with a little protruding kind of a flat head, so you can go ahead and adjust without having to grab a screwdriver or something of that sort. Now, let's go ahead, start shooting at the other targets here. Even though those dirty bird targets help you see your bullet strikes from further away, I think I'm hitting a little too far to the right and slightly low still. You know what? I'm gonna reverse it. 1 on the right. I'm still gonna raise it a little bit more as far as elevation goes. Let's try the target underneath. Okay, now I think I'm hitting high and to the right. So let me try that again. I'm going to shoot at that same target on the bottom. Okay, let me take a look at my target because it's kind of hard to see from this distance, especially with a glaring sun. So let's go take a gander. It looks like we're almost there. So I need to drop it down a little bit to the left a little bit. So I'm just gonna do 1 click on each, shoot at the next target, and just keep going that way until I get it right on target. Ooh, am I on target? Oh, once again, it's hard to see. Let me go take a look. Well, it does seem we're almost there. It may be on. So at this point, I am going to lower the brightness a little bit. I'm going to put it down to 6. Yeah, I can still see it easily. It's not as bright, but I can still see it. And like I said, the lower setting of brightness, the sharper the dot seems to my eyes. Well, I have to use glasses, and sometimes glasses will kind of give you a starburst effect with some red dots. But I want to make sure I'm pointing right at the center of that target. So this time we're going to shoot 5 shots and see how we are hitting. Okay, let's go take a look at our target. Well, it looks like we're almost there. I was hitting elevation, looked great. It's just a little bit to the left still. So let me go ahead and adjust that. Just one click over and see how that hits. Yeah, like I said, I'm shooting at 25 yards. This is the distance I would normally be shooting this rifle at, you know, steel targets or stuff. This isn't the long range rifle for me. It's just a fun 22 for plinking. So if I can get it zeroed at 25 yards, then I've got it where I like it. So let's do 5 more rounds. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to see. Is it hitting a little low this time? Well, let's go look. I've got one more target in case this isn't quite exactly where it needs to be to keep trying. But I'm hoping this time around we got it. But I'm going to start loading 5 more rounds just in case. So let me go take a look. So windage looks better now. But now it looks like I needed to adjust the elevation a little bit. So let's hope this gets us where we need to be. Oh, my glasses are fogging up. There we go. Okay, that's 5 shots. Let's go take a look at the target. And here we are at our target. And yeah, that's pretty good. You know, it's maybe still a little slightly right. Elevation seems about right. But at this point, it may just be an effect with my glasses. I don't have my best shooting glasses on right now. Because it's so bright, I have to put the shaded ones on that don't have quite the right correction for my eye, which makes shooting a red dot a little more difficult because it does make the dot slightly hazy. So I'm not going to be able to be as precise as I'd like to be. And part of that is it's just very bright out here. But that shows that even with a very bright sun, this red dot works fine. I mean, as far as that goes, I'm got almost all of them, well, almost all of them touching the target except for this one here. So not bad, not bad. Sighting in wasn't too terribly difficult. You can see the slow progression to getting it onto the target. So my final thoughts on this red dot, and once again, I usually mention this in my videos. I'm not being paid by MidTen in any way, shape, or form. I don't monetize my channel. I don't take sponsors or anything of that sort. This is just my opinion. Occasionally, different companies will just contact me through email and ask me if they want to send or ask to send a product for me to review. Sometimes I do ask for partnerships or things of that sort. That's how you can see a lot of these YouTubers will get discount codes, things like that. And God bless them. I have nothing against people trying to monetize their channels. It's just for personal reasons, I don't do mine. So I'm sorry, I can't give you any sort of discount code or anything of that sort. I will put a link to the product in the description just so you know what I'm talking about. But beyond that, anything is just my opinion. So what I like about it, I like that it's a pretty sharp red dot. For the price, it's a good little dot. It's lightweight. It appears to be rugged. Now, that being said, I'm only shooting it on a 22. I haven't fired it through a center fire. I don't know what its longevity would be like if it was taking a lot more abuse, but for today's purposes, it worked fine. And this is really what I would use it on, mostly a rim fire of some sort. I like that it's plenty bright, even at mid settings, to be able to use on a bright day like today. Sighting it in was relatively easy. That being said, I would have liked if they had put some sort of marker on the elevation and windage knobs just to show right or up or left or whatever, just so I don't have to go back and look at the instructions, which didn't help me anyway. I looked at the instructions and I did it wrong anyway, but that's on me. I like that the covers for the knobs have the ability where they have the little nub on there that you can use them to adjust the knobs so you don't have to have a tool with you. I like the little case it came in. I like that it comes with a couple of batteries, a cover for the Optic, so you can keep dust and things off of it and keep it a little safer. You know, the cleaning cloth. Now, as far as negatives, and I do have a couple. One is the tool they gave, which is a great little tool. When I got this, I thought this is super neat, much better than the little Allen keys that they usually provide with a lot of these products. But that being said, when I used it originally, it broke. So it's almost, you can see there's a spiral fracture there. And that was when I was mounting the riser and the red dot onto the rifle. And, you know, I can be a little rough with stuff, but I don't feel like I was really torquing it hard or anything of that sort. I was literally just trying to put it on, and this broke. So, you know, I like it so much that I may, when I go home, go ahead and use some epoxy and get this glued up, because I think it is a neat tool. I just wish that maybe they made it out of a slightly stronger plastic, or maybe it was just mine. Maybe this one just had a flaw in it and was ready to crack. Neat tool, but unfortunately it broke. So a neat tool that breaks is a useless tool. So that's one of my complaints. The other complaint I have is on the riser. Now this claims to have a riser that makes this co-witness on the 1/3 lower half of your optic. Now maybe it's just the way I have my rifle set up, but when I raise the rear and front sights on this, and these are just the Magpul types, I think this is the older generation, this is the newer generation. Although I can co-witness through this sight, it's right at the bottom, not even 1/3. I mean, you're barely seeing the sights right at the bottom of the optic. So once again, I don't know if that is an issue with just the way I have my rifle set up. Maybe I set up this red dot too close to my rear sight. But whatever it may be, although you can use your iron sights with this riser and optic, you're going to barely be able to see through it. You're just going to be seeing not the 1/3, maybe 1/5 of the optic, just the tiny little bottom part where you can look through your peep sight and just barely see the front post. So that would be my other complaint. And once again, maybe that's an issue with the way I have this set up. There may be some of you yelling at the TV right now saying, no, it's because these sights are the wrong height, or you needed to have it pushed forward. I honestly don't know. When I have co-witness sights, I can usually set it up like this and it works. And in this case, this riser seems to be just slightly too tall to co-witness well with the backup sights that I have on this rifle. But other than that, it's a great little dot. I like that most of the modern dots have the motion awake feature. That way you don't have to worry about constantly turning them off between shooting sessions. And if you're using it for self-defense or something of that sort, and you have it in your house, sorry, I just closed the bolt, but there is no magazine or anything inside the chamber. There you can see. You don't have to be turning it off and turning it on. You can leave it at whatever setting you think is appropriate for you. And then the moment you grab it, the dot will come to life, and you'll be ready to go and shoot. So a fun little optic. Once again, it was relatively easy to sight in, accurate for my purposes here. Comes with a lot of little accessories that are neat and useful, but it has its own problems with co-witnessing and the tool not necessarily being of best quality. So anyway, hope y'all had fun watching me review this little dot and sight it in. I apologize my dyslexia or lack of critical reading skills. Took me a little longer to get this sighted in than I probably should have. But, you know, it's always fun. I always have fun shooting 22s, even when I'm not hitting what I need to be hitting. It's more fun when you're hitting your target, but still fun nonetheless. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.